The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Coalition of Independents attempted to tear down a shantytowns. Lincoln Bain arrested again. Tensions rise in the FNM. The FNM leadership blocking former leader Minnis from addressing associations. And a warning from gas retailers, what they're saying now. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, February 27th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. And all morning long, we'll be talking about what's in the news. A lot to talk about this morning, including looking back at 242 Day, how this one went. And a whole lot more into our business hour as well. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, police had to intervene to prevent a group from demolishing homes in a shantytown on Bacardi Road. This happened on Saturday. Coalition of Independents leader Lincoln Bain and a group of his supporters threatened to tear down the homes on behalf of the property owner, telling dozens of residents that they had 15 minutes to gather their belongings. Bain telling a woman living in one of the buildings on the property, quote, "We bring tractor and we're demolishing the houses." Bain, accompanied by dozens of supporters and the alleged leaseholder of the sprawling property, went door to door demanding that residents gather their possessions before the arrival of bulldozers. During their attempt to destroy the buildings, which was broadcast live on Facebook, Bain showed residents an alleged Ministry of Works letter from 2019 ordering residents to vacate the property. After Bain and his supporters knocked on the door of a home, one of the men with him marked the home with spray paint, the symbol X with a circle within a circle was placed on the homes whether residents answered or not. A tractor eventually arrived in the shantytown. Bain telling a man while showing him the letter that they were acting on behalf of the woman said to be the leaseholder. At one point, he asked for 3 months leniency. One man asked for 3 months leniency for the residents, a pastor, revealing that many of the people in the shantytown attend his church. However, Bain told the pastor that the residents had sufficient warning, but added that he will not bulldoze the church. The property owner, Justina Curry, acknowledged that she once had a farmer named Zammy working for her on the property and that the blind man might have worked with him. A blind man who was on the property. But Bain questioned some people when they claimed to have paid rent on the property or when they claimed to have lived there for a long time. He told several people they weren't telling the church about their claims. At one point, Bain spoke to a police officer, and eventually Assistant Commissioner of Police Bernard Bonamy arrived on the shantytown at the scene and ordered Bain and his group to cease their actions, warning Bain that no one will do demolition around here until further notice. As Bain questioned how the police could prevent the demolition, and a seemingly irate Bonamy asked, quote, "Where is her property?" The police eventually escorted Bain off the property. In the video on Facebook, the property owner goes into the back of a police car as Bonamy shouts for them to go to the Carmichael Road police station. There's a whole lot more on this in today's Nassau Guardian. Meanwhile, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell warning party supporters during a PLP meeting not to be distracted by the narrative of political protesters that say the Bahamas is experiencing an immigration crisis. Mitchell saying during the party's National Central Council meeting Wednesday, quote, "There's this narrative and we have to be careful how we adopt this narrative, and it's based on what I think is a false premise." Mitchell said that there are groups who are trying to whip up hysteria in the population. He said, quote, "I assure you that there is a crisis in Haiti. There is no crisis in Nassau. So the institutions are functioning and fully functioning. What more do you want us to do? What do you want us to do?" Mitchell asked. He was referring to the Coalition of Independents as those whipping up hysteria, including leader Lincoln Bain, who's held protests and demonstrations outside Parliament in recent months. Mitchell did not refer to Bain by name, though. Meanwhile, since the assassination of Haiti's president in 2021, the country has descended into chaos. Thousands take to the sea in unsafe boats looking for a better life in the United States, and in the Bahamas, many ending up in Bahamian waters. Police say a man was killed after he was struck by a jet ski while swimming in waters off Paradise Island. This was on Saturday evening. The jet ski operator fled the scene. The victim, who was 49, had serious head trauma. EMS responded to the scene and transported the victim to the hospital, but he later died. Former gas station employee Donisha Wallace has denied stealing from her bosses. The 27-year-old was charged with stealing by reason of employment on Friday. Prosecutors say that Wallace stole $500 from the gas station while employed as a cashier. Wallace denied the allegation at her arraignment before Magistrate Kendra Kelly. She's granted $2,500 bail with one or two sureties in order to report to the East Street Police Station once a week. Wallace returns to court on May 9th for trial. And tensions are mounting in the Free National Movement as the leadership of the party is blocking former leader Dr. Minnis from speaking at F&M Constituency Association meetings. There are widespread expectations that the former Prime Minister will challenge current leader Michael Pintard for the F&M leadership prior to the next general election. The Nassau Guardian understands that when the former Prime Minister attended an F&M Council meeting on Thursday, things got heated when Minnis voiced his objection to being prevented from speaking. Minnis was set to speak at the meeting at the Garden Hills Constituency Association on March 7th, but the leadership reportedly communicated to the association that must not happen. Minnis was due to speak on the topic, quote, "PLP policies hurting the average Bahamian." The Nassau Guardian understands that there was an intense exchange at the council meeting on Thursday over Minnis being prevented from speaking. Pintard, who was a minister in the Minnis cabinet, reportedly warned F&Ms that if Minnis leads them into the next election, the party would for sure lose to the PLP. Overseas, the death toll now up to 62 in the migrant tragedy off Italy's southern coast after rescue crews recovered 3 more bodies today, driving home once again the desperate and dangerous boat crossings of people seeking to reach Europe. Dozens more were believed to be missing. children were among the dead after a wooden boat broke up in stormy seas on the reefs near the Calabrian coast on Sunday. At least 80 people survived, but more were feared dead, given survivor reports that the boat, which set off from Turkey last week, carried about 170 people. A beach in the area littered with the splintered remains of the 20-meter or 65-foot boat, as well as the belongings of the migrants, including a toddler's tiny pink sweater and a yellow plastic pencil case decorated with pandas. There were only a few life jackets scattered amid the debris. The UN and Doctors Without Borders, which had crews on the scene, said many of the victims were Afghans, including members of large families, as well as Pakistanis and Iraqis. Afghans were the second top nationality to seek asylum in the European Union last year and have increasingly fled the spiraling security, humanitarian, and economic troubles that followed the Taliban takeover in August 2021. And tens of thousands of people filling Mexico City's vast main plaza Sunday to protest President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's electoral law changes. They say that these will threaten democracy and could mark a return to the past. The plaza is normally thought to hold nearly 100,000 people. Many protesters who couldn't fit in the square filled nearby streets. The marchers were clad mostly in white and pink, the color of the National Electoral Institute, and shouted slogans like, quote, "Don't touch my vote." Like a similar but somewhat larger march on November 13th last year, the marchers appeared somewhat more affluent than those at the average demonstration. The electoral law changes drew attention from the U.S. government. The U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs, Brian Nichols, writing in his Twitter account that, quote, "Today in Mexico, we see a great debate on electoral reforms that are testing the independence of electoral and judicial institutions. The United States supports independent, well-sourced electoral institutions that strengthen democratic processes and the rule of law." López Obrador's proposals were passed last week. Once enacted, they would cut salaries, funding for local election offices, and training for citizens who operate and oversee polling stations. They would also reduce sanctions for candidates who fail to report campaign spending. Mexico's president denies the reforms are a threat to democracy and says criticism is elitist, arguing that the institute spends too much money. He says the funds should be spent on the poor. And from the world of entertainment, the unlikely award season juggernaut Everything Everywhere All at Once marching on at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, gathering steam with wins not just for Best Ensemble, but for Michelle Yeoh and Ki Kwan, but also for Jamie Lee Curtis. The SAG Awards, often an Oscar preview, throwing some curveballs into the Oscar race with the ceremony streamed live on Netflix. The Oscars just a few weeks away. That's time now for your first look at sports. We know now who we're going to be in the Hugh Campbell Championship game. For the first time in 6 years, perennial Hugh Campbell Basketball champions, the CI Gibson Rattlers, are back in the championship game, and they'll be meeting the defending champions. It'll be another Freeport versus Nassau battle, pitting two of the top teams in the country against each other. The Rattlers turning back the St. George's Jaguars 66-62 in their semifinal game at the Kendall Isaacs Gym Sunday. In the early game, the Sunland Baptist Stingers pulled off a mini upset, turning back the Tabernacle Baptist Falcons 66-55. So the championship game between the Rattlers and the defending champion Stingers set for 8 p.m. this evening at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. So again, CI Gibson Rattlers versus the Sunland Baptist Stingers. Read more about what we can expect in today's Guardian Sports section. And Bain Collegiate sprinter Terrence Jones running for the first time this year on Friday and did it in grand fashion, clocking an NCAA Division I leading time of 6.46 seconds in the men's 60 meters dash. The Texas Tech Red Raiders Jr. returning on Saturday and won that event in the time of 6.48 seconds. Jones accomplishing the feat at the Big 12 Indoor Track and Field Championships at the Sports Performance Center in Lubbock, Texas, claiming the conference title. The Red Raiders also capturing their third title, scoring 159 points, the second most in program history. And at the 2023 Milo Butler Invitational, there were swimmers going under the Carifta qualifying times, as well as previous qualifiers improving their times. That meet over the weekend, hosted by the Blue Waves Aquatics Club, with the final competitive event before the highly anticipated Bahamas Aquatics Federation Carifta Trials set for this coming weekend. Get all the details of that in today's Guardian Sports section as well. From the NBA, the celebration surrounding Damian Lillard's record-breaking performance short-lived. Lillard setting a franchise and career record with 71 points, tied for the most in the NBA this season, and 13 three-pointers in the Portland Trail Blazers' 131-114 victory over the Houston Rockets Sunday night. But soon after the streamers fell to the court and the crowd headed for the exits, Lillard was summoned for a drug test. Turns out the seven-time All-Star, who's unafraid of taking a three-pointer from half-court, is afraid of needles. Lillard got tested on the night he tied Cleveland's Donovan Mitchell for the most points in the game this season, after Mitchell also scored 71 in a win over Chicago on January 2nd. His 13 three-pointers were also one shy of the NBA record set by Golden State's Klay Thompson in 2018, Thompson's Warriors teammate Stephen Curry in 2016, and Chicago's Zach LaVine in 2019 also made 13 threes. Lillard broke his own franchise mark of 61 points, which he's done twice, on a three-pointer with 4:42 left, and also topped his previous career record for threes, which was 11. Lillard unsure how to mark the occasion, though. Hopefully the needle didn't hurt too much. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got high pressure that remains across the country, promoting pleasant weather conditions. Beachgoers along Atlantic exposed shorelines should exercise caution, as there's a slight risk of rip currents. For all areas today, look for mostly sunny and warm conditions, becoming fair and mild at night. Especially in the extreme northwest Bahamas, it should be pretty breezy. Small craft caution will come into effect in the extreme northwestern islands tonight. Winds light and variable at 10 knots or less, increasing to 15 to 20 knots tonight over the extreme northwest Bahamas. Seas 3 feet or less, but building to 4 to 6 feet in the extreme northwestern islands. Seas 6 feet in northeasterly swells along Atlantic exposures. Off to a cool start this morning. We're at about 65 degrees in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting back down to about 63 Fahrenheit. 17 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Introducing the new Tortilla Lime Crunch Chicken Sandwich from Wendy's! And I have a little bit of everything. Avocado, taco mayo, pickles, and crunchy tortillas on top of a delicious breaded chicken fillet. Yes, try it and add our all-new Dave's Craft Lemonade to your combo. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Welcome to the power of Visa, with access to thousands of travel and shopping and dining discounts with up to $1,500 in savings yearly with Mobile Assist's new prepaid Visa travel rewards cards. Book the cheapest flights, even cheaper than Orbitz and Expedia. Get cash back at participating hotels, car rentals with automatic insurance, and online shopping discounts at U.S. stores like Gap, Best Buy, and more. Get your 30-day free trial when you download our Mobile Assist app. Visit Mobile Assist/rewards now for your prepaid Visa travel rewards card.
At Doctor's Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off lab, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctor's Hospital, trusted and best care now.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 50th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets at Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. You can join us as well. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Coming up this morning, we're going to be talking about what's in the news. A lot to get to this morning. A lot happened over the weekend. And we're going to get into all of that and straight into our business hour as well. Another warning from the retailers, Petroleum Retailers Association, some of the members at least, what they're saying. We're going to get into all of that today. Let's begin, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, before we get into any of the big, heavy stuff, there's a lot of that this morning to get into. I just want to talk briefly about 242 Day and how that went and get your reaction to it. Maybe, I don't know if you saw what I saw, but I was blown away by the number of people who seemed to be aware of it and participated in it. Everywhere you went, people were saying it. This is exactly, we're getting there. We're getting there. This is exactly what we need to be doing. I want to get your reaction to it. What did you think of it? I saw a lot of people online who didn't know about it and didn't know where it came from and just saw, I guess, the declaration from the Prime Minister. Some folks were being their usual negative selves and saying how this is a PLP distraction, which is so sad. So sad. Oh, boy. Anyway, let's get your reaction to it. What do you think? What did you do? How did it go for you? Give us a call. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. And what do you think should be the way forward for next year? What needs to be done? And will people be waiting around for the government to tell them what to do again? Or will they come up with the ideas like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do? It's on Saturday next year, so maybe that even opens up more opportunities. The schools that were open, we're told, did things, and that was great. Still, a lot of people have no idea where this has come from and why, and I guess everybody needs to tell people more about it. But let's get your reaction. 323-6232, 325-4259. Oh, boy. Yep, that's right, 4259 and 325-4316. Text us 422-4796. All right. Like I said, I was very surprised everywhere you went. Just everybody seemed to know. The hashtag 242 Day certainly had a lot going on. A lot of people posting their pictures and saying what they were doing and just lots of talking here and there. What did you think? And could the negative people, it really doesn't make any sense since it didn't come out of the party. It had nothing to do with that. It's very foolish, but I guess it's just the reality we're in. Some people just cannot separate themselves from the politics, right? And so anything will be branded in that way if it has the endorsement of the government of the day, which is depressing, but hey. All right, let's see what you're saying. Let's go to the text line. Okay, so this is an idiot. An idiot, I'm going to say right now. You're an idiot, texter. Dwight 242 Day was a waste of paper. The paper was proclaimed on. If you're going to celebrate the Bahamas, let's do it on July 10th. This is a failed pet project and no one knew what to do. Well, you're a fool. That's all I can say. You're an idiot, and no one's telling you not to celebrate on July 10th. Not one person. We're saying we always said it was a unique opportunity on the 24th day of February to celebrate all things Bahamian. Shouldn't you do that every day? And we don't. We absolutely don't. We almost said a very bad word. Complain and whine all day, every day, including here on the show. But we were saying for one day, let's just put down the political colors and pick up the country's colors and celebrate it. But you are only focused on the political aspect of it. The Prime Minister declared it. Well, had it not been for that, because I've been talking about it for 2 years and nobody cared. But only when the government decided to get on board did anybody really care. So unfortunately, in the Bahamas, you have to have the government involvement in order for anything to get off the ground. That's who you all are, and you perpetuate that every day by sending stupid text messages like that. So, first thing Monday morning. But yeah, texter, I wish I could tell you where you need to go. I really do. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Man, Dwight, like your players don't let them people upset you, man. You know?
I mean, but they're so insane.
You with this thing for over the last 2 years, right? You know where you end up 2-4 day in A&E, right?
What?
And I must say, right?
Something happened to you?
Yeah, I was in A&E. I had a little issue.
Oh boy, sorry to hear
that. But thank God I'm okay right now.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But
thank goodness.
Yes, sir. But at the end of the day, right? I'm saying I saw doctors started 2-4 day from the night before, because I was in there from the Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was all through the night. The doctors who was on duty, they was already excited about the 2-4-2.
Excellent.
Right? And I was shocked to see it. And a lot of people, everywhere I went, even after that, I saw, because I get out that evening, 2-4-2 evening, and I was still hearing a lot of Bahamian music more than I normally do.
Yeah.
I was seeing people inside, not enough persons, but I did see a lot of persons in there for paraphernalia, right? So don't let nobody discourage you, Dwight, because that's only was day one, right? And here's some. I think you need the next by now. Next 2-4-2, the schools need to be incorporated prior, so that we could get the children a part of this, because you see those are the people you need to you really need to reach, right? Because they who can propel 2-4-2 forward, right? But the people with brain and heart in the politics, right? Don't worry about them, right?
Yeah.
They're the issue. You can always find people throwing negativity after positivity, right? But you don't get concerned with them. But I hope I could call back when you're talking about Dr. Minnis.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Hope you're feeling better. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. Let's get some more calls in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Yep, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us. Yeah, fake us. Be nice, yeah. Be nice and fake. And text us 422-4796. All right, this person says, I was dressed in my Bahamian colors and my company bought into the idea. So my colleagues and I were in full participation. However, it can be better celebrated if we keep Brave Davis out of it. Oh, Lord. Quite a bit of persons thought it was political. So, Dwight, let's make it known that this idea was established by you. We don't need to do that, but anyway. And a few of us kept pushing you to get it established. This is a people's idea. It certainly is a people's idea, absolutely. Well, again, it helped with the awareness, because me and all of you talking about it wasn't going to get us too far. But that did help, and we appreciate the government for jumping on board. Hopefully they didn't just do it for the 50th anniversary, and they will continue to do this next year, and any other future administrations. All right? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Don't be. Listen, I keep your blood pressure down. Those detractors. Listen, what you do by virtue of being encouraged by the Bahamian citizen to bring about 424, 242 is awesome. That's awesome. Guess what? our code is 1242, right? So you have the first month, then you have the second month, then you got the 24th day. And that was perfect. That is what listen, it couldn't be any better. I supported, I told persons that were not aware, I said you should have on your colors, it should be flag on your cars, you should be moving around, should be celebrated. Because it was awesome. We don't need nothing to constantly come from the Bahamas government, right? We can think for ourselves. That was an awesome, good idea that was implemented, and it could be better. Like the caller said, get the children involved in the different schools and all that sort of stuff. You see, this is how you build a nation. People are too polarized and worrying about partisan politics. Let's celebrate 242, and I'm glad to congratulate you, Guardian Radio, and the other persons that participated in that. That's an awesome, awesome celebration. I enjoyed it. It was good. It will be better next year because we're going to come up with innovative ideas of how to make it better. Forget about politics. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you very much. This person says here, another one of those. Dwight 242 Day makes no sense if there's nothing to celebrate. It has to do with Bahamians, not political colors, and how dare the Prime Minister stop the demolition of shantytowns on someone's private property, while we fools should save our country. All right, Dexter. Oh, boy. I don't know. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay. All those things need to be done. Absolutely. I don't know how and why you would need to mix them all up into that thing, a day that we set aside to celebrate us, the good things that are going right in the country, but all the other things do need to. If you feel because there's some things that are really wrong, we should just throw everything away, well, that's on you. Don't block anybody else's hustle, though. But okay. All right. But I hope you enjoy your negativity stew right there. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. Excellent work, Dwight. Excellent work. I decided to go to the beach late in the evening, and you know how I go. I have to be a little bit an extrovert and controversial, so I went around asking people, just what is 242? You know, you come across a group of people who are simulating, and some are Bahamians, but they think they are Bahamians. And this guy, he had two pit bulls. And I asked him, what you ever heard about 242? He says, that's the area code. I said, but what about 242 day? He says, you notice I have two pit bulls. I'm going to get 4 eventually. And he was able to, mind you, he's not from here. He's simulated here. And so you may find, Dwight, if you keep this up, you may find people who migrated here, pick it up and run with it, more than people who were born here from both Bahamian parents. Keep it up, Dwight.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Thank you very much. I don't know how to respond to that really, but boom. Okay. Congratulations on the 242 Day. I am a proud Bahamian, and I had my Bahamian flag colors from my hair, decorations, jewelry, and clothes. Everywhere I went, people asked about my outfit, and I was proud to explain the 242 Day celebration and sent the post on social media. Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, well, I didn't have to say anything to anybody. Everywhere I went, people were saying 242 days for the 242 Day, and you know, that was pretty cool to me. This person says, I thought it was a brilliant idea. I didn't know about the day and felt it could have been advertised more. Okay. This one says, thanks to 242, every Friday we wear Bahamian colors until July, so thank you. Oh, really? Okay, well, that's interesting. Buy some more clothes there. That's a lot. Till July, every Friday. Wow. But excellent. That's really good to hear. This one says here, I had to go to 2 major government agencies, and just about everyone had on their colors. Yeah, absolutely. I had to drive by that bomb scare at the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture, and outside, everybody outside the bomb scare building had on their flag colors, and that was pretty cool. And there was no bomb either, so that was also cool. Great stuff. This one says here, the more opportunities to focus on the country over party, the better. I wore national colors, ate Bahamian cuisine, and celebrated Bahamian culture, and will embrace every opportunity to do so. Yeah, indeed. This one says here, 242 Day would have been a success without the government. I'm positive of that. Okay. The government came on board because it was already happening. History is littered with examples of governments using national festivities to turn the attention of the masses away from the current day misery. Saying people mentioning political motives are being negative isn't correct. Both truths nationalism and politics can exist in the same space with alternate motivations. Okay. All right. Well, I hear you, but I don't see how one day would distract anybody. And I mean, I know governments are sometimes clueless, but that would be the most clueless thing you could possibly do. Let's distract them with one day, and then they will forget all the problems. Okay. This person says here, if foreigners, especially Haitians, should celebrate 242 Day because obviously it represents them taking over. So no one was celebrating. I don't know why I read that. Oh, man. Okay. This one says here, the country was on a clear... Oh, this is about Minnis. Okay. Talk about negativity. Where is this coming from? We haven't started talking about that yet. But anyway, let's read this now because I won't find this later. The PLP and some in the media surely succeeded in spreading Minnis hate. The country was on a clear and steady path for the first 2 years of its administration. This was recognized locally and internationally. After the onset of Dorian and the pandemic, the government made it explicitly clear that its plans would be delayed. You all mischievously held them to a timely agenda as if there was no pandemic or Dorian. The crisis and its natural fallout was politicized to the maximum. Again, I keep saying, Dr. Minnis, stop sending these text messages. Nobody told you to call an early election. Nobody said it. Nobody did. But okay. Anyway, we'll get to that in a bit. This person says the 242 Day was lit. I saw our flag colors, heard our Bahamian music, more than usual, and just all things Bahamian. It was a pleasure to experience that. Don't mind the naysayers, Dwight. I had fun and can't wait for next year. Woosah. Yeah, I need that. Definitely need that. Another one here. Dwight, 242 Day was an awesome idea. You should run for Prime Minister. Not at this place. No, I didn't think so. I still have my flag up on my car. It was a little disappointing didn't see that many people with flags out. But as for me, my house, we are 100% Bahamas proud. Thank you. Great stuff. 242 Day at a closed grouper season can't work. And it's Lent too. So, I mean, good. Imagine all of that. Hey, there's a whole lot of other Bahamian delicacies. I had an overload of conch. I think I'll only be able to eat oatmeal to get that cholesterol back down for at least 2 weeks. So you got to find ways around it. Let's get Pam's mic up there. This text before we get to Pam, this person says here, I dressed from head to toe in my flag colors and had flags on my cars, had some conch fritters, dilly ice cream, Kalik, and spent time with my family. I didn't see a whole lot of participation where I visited, but think more notice will improve that next year. Okay. Good stuff there. Pamela Musgrove, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to have you with us as always.
Good to be here.
You sent me your picture. I didn't post that. You were celebrating 242 Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was an awesome idea. Congratulations to you. The thing I like about 242 Day, there was no political chaos with it.
Only online.
It's a day.
Only online.
Well, no, in terms of it's a day that none of our politicians could claim because this happened to be our area code. And we could celebrate, without one side saying, okay, we brought that about.
Right.
And the other side saying, no, you didn't bring that about.
Right.
So I like that about the day. And like you saw in the picture I celebrated, someone gave me some coconuts. And I have them in the refrigerator, and every so often I would break it, and the jelly is soft. So
yeah.
I actually cracked that one at the office.
Yeah.
And our office also celebrated. We had Bahamian breakfast.
Oh.
And they were playing Bahamian music at the early part of the morning. So it was wonderful. It was an opportunity to celebrate Bahamian pride.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. We're not praising anybody. We're not celebrating anybody.
Right.
But we're celebrating our culture, and we're celebrating our country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all the heroes in this one.
Yes.
Right?
This is us.
This is us.
The people. Not the politician.
Right.
but the people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This person says here, out of the farmers market on Saturday, many customers came out in their Bahamian colors, and that was the day after. So look at that. Yeah. And I appreciate the stores that took part and had specials. That was pretty cool. We got a few as we were leaving the air, so I couldn't read all. I sent them on to the shows afterwards. Hopefully they read them. And so next year, think
and
about that.
marketing is important to your business, and what business owners want to do is grab onto any occasion to try to bring people into their store.
Yeah.
The schools did it. My nephew's school celebrated 242 Day. He dressed in his Bahamian colors. They had to pay money to dress up, though. But
how much did they pay? $2.42?
No, I think it was $3. They rounded up. Well, they should have rounded down, but they rounded it up. The $3. But that's good that the schools the schools that were open were also participating.
Right.
It's wonderful. And I think it's good to help kids and children to understand and celebrate Bahamian pride and Bahamian culture.
Absolutely. Okay, I see a lot of people, there's a thread or a trend with the text messages to say something about foreigners and Haitians celebrating it. Oh boy. As long as 242 Day. As long as whoever is here is celebrating it. I'm not encouraging anything illegal or unlawful. I'm just saying everybody, everywhere, celebrate us 242 that day.
And our
24th
culture.
of February.
Our pride.
Every
Bahamian
year.
pride.
Let's do that. That's a unique thing. Nobody else can claim it.
And a lot of the students in university were also celebrating and putting stuff on TikTok in celebration of 242 Day. So it's a wonderful thing.
That's great.
Yeah. And we don't need the government to push it. We just go ahead and do it. I think it's going to get steam with or without the government's proclamation.
Hopefully. A couple messages as we go to the break and listening to Solo song again. I think it was well received. Our colors were everywhere, and I'm surprised how many people were aware of the day. I hope you can advocate for store owners to place garbage bins on the outside of the stores. This place is filthy. Okay, well, that's something different there, but yes, sure. This person says that people can't just celebrate the Bahamas without talking PLP or FNM. It was a good idea. Some only upset that it was declared by the Prime Minister, the PLP. But that's politics, yeah. Okay. Wake me up on July 10th when I know what I'm celebrating. Corporate Bahamas did not celebrate this foolery. Well, I don't think you're right. Many did.
See, what people have to understand, a lot of people, particularly even young people, feel disconnected about independence. People are like, I had a friend who told her son, she was like, when we were growing up, things were hard for us. And we had to do this. And her son told her that's not my reality, though.
Wow.
And so a lot of people, they cannot appreciate independence. Maybe the people who were around during that time and experienced it. Yeah. But the people who are coming up now, they have their own experiences. And that is what they're relating to.
Far too many people are saying we should have gone independent. That we should go back
there are a
to
lot
the
of
UK.
people who feel
today who say the Queen or the King should take us back.
Yeah, because
So
they
that's
would feel that
ridiculous.
they would be in a better position than they are. Yeah.
Utter madness. But anyway, this
I
final
mean, you
text.
have Turks and Caicos, you have Bermuda.
No.
These are. I'm not agreeing, but I'm saying that some people feel that way. And so to say, well, we should only be celebrating on independence, I think would ignore that there is a disconnect with probably many people in the country about what that day even means.
And what's with having multiple days to celebrate?
Yeah.
What is the issue? Why are you angry? We got to figure out, see a therapist. Like, why are you angry about this?
And then you ask the question, does history evolve? Or should the things in the past, pre-independence or way in the past, be history and that's it?
Yeah.
As we live, we are creating history.
The only problem we're going to have is when the population grows so much that we have to have a second area code. Then 242 days, like, oh boy.
Well, then hopefully your local government will be in place and the various districts will celebrate
the ones that have the 242 area code.
They will celebrate their area
that
code.
sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. This final text as we go to the break. The 242 Day was an excellent idea. I would like to suggest for next celebration that we also use that day to focus on highlighting and supporting Bahamian business, products, talents, and music. We were encouraging that this year as well. We were encouraging that, and I think it did happen. They go on to say, also enjoyed Solo's 242 song, and Bahamians are so talented, and 242 Day should be used to highlight everything Bahamian. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go to the break. We'll have much more of what's making news on this 272 day. No. This is Morning Blood. We'll be right back.
In every way, 2 for today. Time to celebrate, 2 for today. Proud to be a beam in every way. Your Bahamian colors be patriotic, cause we bout to get loose. Someone say how loose? Loose like Bahamian goose. February the 24th, 2023. Music, food, and entertainment happening this Friday. It's gonna be many beautiful colors displayed by beautiful people.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
7:44, time for your first good traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Just a reminder about a town hall meeting that is scheduled for Tuesday. That's tomorrow, Tuesday night, at the National Training Center to talk about the Gladstone Road Improvement Project. So if you want to find out more information about that, be sure to be a part of that tomorrow evening. In your real-time traffic this morning, quite a few schools are still on midterm break, so we're seeing much less congestion than you normally would on a Monday morning, and so things aren't looking so bad. Just a few folks would be in front of you if you're a mile of Butler Highway heading northbound. Traffic's about midway between Fire Trail and Tawny Grooms Darling Highway. It's about near Harold Pond in the northbound lanes there. Some building traffic on Tawny Grooms Darling Highway westbound to that roundabout with Mile of Butler Highway as well. Further east, though, on Tawny Grooms Darling Highway, we're seeing a long line of traffic. There might be an incident there. It could be an accident westbound this morning, and so nobody's moving there just east of the roundabout with Bahamas Games Boulevard. Again, that's westbound lanes there. So if you are coming off Blue Hill Road, heading westbound, or on Independence Drive, heading westbound, you might want to find an alternate route at the moment, as there's a long line there. Northbound on Blue Hill Road, busy for you just north of Soldier Road, heading toward that roundabout with Independence Drive. Elsewhere, East Street between Soldier and the Independence Drive and East-West Highway roundabout, that's looking busy for you just north of Soldier at this hour. Carmichael Road to Coral Harbor Road, Carmichael westbound. Heavy traffic there. And just along Eastern Road, just east of Fox Hill, you see that traffic there heading up to Johnson Road westbound. And some pockets along Prince Charles Drive and Bernard Road, both westbound for you this morning. That's what we're looking at. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got high pressure across the islands promoting pleasant conditions. Beachgoers along Atlantic exposures should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents. For all areas today, look for mostly sunny and warm conditions, becoming fair and mild at night. Breezy tonight in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Smoke wave caution will come into effect in the extreme northwestern islands by tonight. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius today. That's another warm day in store. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a cool 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. In your extended outlook, weak high pressure expected to remain across the islands, continuing to produce pleasant and warm conditions with light winds. So for Tuesday, mostly sunny and warm, becoming fair and mild at night. Slight chance of an isolated shower as well. That's going to hold for Wednesday, too. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and carved body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
University of the Bahamas is where greatness grows. Apply now to join a community of strong learners and leaders. The deadline to apply for undergraduate admissions has been extended to Tuesday, 28th of February, 2023. The online application process is easy. Simply visit www.ub.edu.bs and click on Apply Now. You can also browse our many academic programs, and if you have questions, email admissions@ub.edu.bs. University of the Bahamas, preparing students for better lives in a dynamic global society.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal, so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient, so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The sun comes up with a burning glow, shines down on paradise below. I'm talking about the Bahamas, you know, our beautiful archipelago. Now go, 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 brag about the beauty. Tell them we friendly. Oh, tell them we proud of the country. Tell them they could come see. Then say I'm proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian, yes. God gave this land to me. Onward, upward together, boasting our rich culture, inspiring our young and old. With perseverance, we could win gold.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Straw along with Pamela Musgrove on this Monday morning. We're going to move on from 242 Day, but if you want to continue to send your messages, let us know what you're thinking. I just want to read this one really quickly. Or these two. All right. Dwight, one day after 242 Day, Bahamian Fred Prabal, graduate of St. John's, was elected president of the United States Golf Association, making all Bahamians proud. He was the first black president and possibly the youngest. Let's continue to celebrate the Bahamas and Bahamians. 242 to the world, absolutely. And Fred Prabal doing great things in everything he does over there in the U.S. And congratulations to him. Yeah, absolutely. This person says, I was not able to wear the 242 colors because of where I work, but my flag was flown on my car. Excellent. Excellent. This one says, I hope the Ministry of Tourism can jump on it. It should be for anybody within the 242 area of all the islands, cruise ships, and airports. Yeah. Well, bigger and better things to come. And by next year's 24224, all right? And then we could keep going. And
it will become a tradition.
Yeah. And just looking forward to where this goes. All right, so let's talk about some other things in the news. This is disturbing and coming just a few days after we talked about an ATV accident. And we had a conversation and it came up on this show about, jet ski operators who don't follow the rules and what do they do? Drive their vessels too close to the beach. And we've had incidents like this before. And here we go again. Police say a man was killed after he was struck by a jet ski while swimming in waters off Paradise Island on Saturday evening. The jet ski operator fled the scene. The victim, who was 49, had serious head trauma. EMS responded to the scene and transported the victim to the hospital, but he later died. That is a real tragedy.
Yeah, he was obviously too close to the shoreline.
Yeah.
But it's a hit and run, though.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
They don't care on land. Why would they care in the water? Yeah, this is crazy.
Are jet skis required to be licensed?
Yeah.
So everybody that has a jet
What?
ski should
Pam,
license.
now you know that part.
No, I'm
But
really
everyone
asking
who
it.
is supposed to, but do they?
Well,
But
see,
they're
that's
supposed to.
Yeah, well, see, that's
What do you think?
I guess one of the
this person wasn't
challenges.
licensed? I don't even know if that.
No, I'm just saying so you could track. Like, do we know how many jet skis are in the country? So if someone were to, a boat supposed to be licensed, private craft, sea craft?
I believe so.
Are they required to be licensed by the government?
Cars too. Everything's supposed to be licensed.
That's a
You think
tragedy.
he's going to claim he didn't know? He thought it was rough.
They got to
rough
find him
waves.
first.
My
They have to find him first.
Wow. Very sad.
It is.
Yeah. But, and again, this is not the first time this has happened. Not the first time, not even the second time. And it hasn't changed behaviors. If you go to any beach on a nice day, you will see the jet ski operators doing shenanigans is the best word I can use. I mean, what the heck is that guy doing?
Yeah.
And,
you said
nothing.
you said this is the third time. So the
It's
first and the second
probably not.
time.
I can't even count.
Okay.
I know this isn't the first time.
What was the consequence? See?
I
But
can
that's
tell
why
you.
behaviors won't change.
Yeah. There was an uproar.
Yeah.
People
If
were
I
angry.
feel like I could get away with something, Dwight, I may just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, very sad. What are we going to do? If you have any views on that, give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us.
My sympathies go out to the family that lost their loved one. That's sad to be on the beach enjoying yourself and this craft just come and hit you.
Yeah.
And it's just so concerning. I just think, I know wherever you go in life, there's crime, right? People do things that they're not supposed to do. But for our little country, relatively little country, it just seems that some people are so hardened, man.
Yeah.
Their hearts seem so hardened. Like you are violating probably the law by going so close to the shoreline And added to that, you hit somebody. And there's nothing in your heart or your conscience to say stop.
Right.
You just continue going.
You know, I mean, depending on how private the beach or secluded the beach is, right? They won't have an area where you should pull up if you are on a motorcraft like this. And hopefully, and I know we don't, but I know if it is a public beach where people are swimming, there should be a designated area where only here you can pull up.
But I'm sure all of the beaches, there's a designated area.
I don't know about that.
Or should be a designated area.
But the thing is, if you are pulling up, you don't pull up at full speed, right? Bring that down and gently come in because people might be under the water swimming. You don't know. He just went under, and as he's about to come up, but if you're going at a slower pace, you might be able to avoid it. But that doesn't sound like this was the issue here. It sounds like somebody was speeding, and and this is always going to be the problem. Always going to be the problem. A couple of text messages before we go. This person says that jet ski driver needs to go to prison for the rest of his life, and now it's time for action. Heavy fines and confiscate jet skis when driven recklessly. But again, as Pam says, you got to find him. Where is he? Who is he? This one says here, now we're going to have some official create a solution to stop jet skis colliding with swimmers as opposed to someone coming up with a comprehensive plan and enforcing that plan. Well, it sounds like the same thing, no? If they can't stop people running red lights, how are they going to police the open waters? I just said it, right? If you know it's a public beach, only here can you pull your jet ski up. Not at any point on the beach, which I see all the time. People will they see some tourists or whatever, and they'll pull the jet skis straight up in front of them. No, because there are people swimming around there. But maybe you have to go down, this is the jet ski loading area, down that side or over there. And so swimmers don't go over there because jet skis come up there. Something like that,
Well,
right?
then you'd have signage.
Yeah, you should have signage. You should know
Have
these things.
signage
You don't have
where
signs
you
for anything.
can, load onto the jet ski.
Yeah. Even bicycles are supposed to be licensed. Why not also expand the conversation to those electronic scooters and the 3 and
Bicycles are
4 wheelers?
supposed to license
We were
too?
talking about those last week. Yeah, we'll get back to this after the break and a whole lot more. Minnis and shanty towns and all of that when we get back after the news. Stay with us.
Take it away, boys.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. Tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:23, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got high pressure that remains across the islands, promoting pleasant weather conditions. Beachgoers along Atlantic exposed shorelines should exercise caution due to the slight risk of rip currents. For all areas today, mostly sunny and warm, becoming fair and mild at night, breezy tonight in the extreme northwest Bahamas. Smallcraft caution will come into effect in the extreme northwestern islands by tonight. Another warm day in store. Temperatures getting up to around 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. In your extended outlook, weak high pressure expected to remain across the islands, producing more of the pleasant and warm conditions we've been seeing with light winds. So for Tuesday and for Wednesday being the first day of March already, we're looking at mostly sunny and warm conditions, becoming fair and mild at night, slight chances of isolated passing showers. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And we've got another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialist can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic, again, a few schools still closed for midterm, and so we're seeing a different traffic pattern this morning. As we've been telling you, there seems to be an issue on Tonic Bloom's Darling Highway, westbound, just west of the roundabout with Blue Hill Road. And before you get to Bahamas Games Boulevard, the westbound lanes there might be something happening there. So keep that in mind if you're in that part of the island. And avoid the area if you can. Further west, as you approach the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway, you'll see some traffic there, westbound. Milo Butler Highway, not looking so bad. Traffic about midway between Fire Trail and Tonic Bloom's Darling Highway this morning. So about as you approach Harold Pond, you'll see that there. But that's much better than it normally is at this hour. Gladstone Road is looking fantastic just until you approach Munnings Road, where you see that long line in front of you heading up to JFK Drive, but that is much improved compared to what you're likely to see tomorrow. And Carmichael Road westbound, heavy traffic there on the way to Coral Harbor Road. Just some pockets along Eastern Road, just west of Fox Hill at this hour, and Bernard Road near some of the open schools in the area. Village Road looking busy for you, though, especially northbound this morning. And northbound on Soldier Road as you approach the intersection with Village, Bernard, and Wolf. Marathon Road also seeing some congestion northbound, but moving. It's moving. So that's good for you. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Wake up! Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The sun comes up with a burning glow, shines down on paradise below. I'm talking about the Bahamas, you know, our beautiful archipelago. Now go, 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 brag about me beauty. Tell them we friendly. Oh, tell them we proud of we country. Tell them they could come see. Then say I'm proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian. Proud to be a Bahamian.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. I want to get on to the shantytown issue of the weekend, but before we do, just some of these text messages about the jet ski issue, which we started before the break there. This texter says, put pressure on the operators that we will be forced to ban jet ski operations, period, if certain behaviors don't stop. Force a degree of self-policing as your financial survival is on the line. Well, I feel like we're always there, but it doesn't seem to.
I think it has to
change
go further.
Yeah, it has to
Yeah,
go further
it has to
because
go
we're
further.
always there.
It has to
This
go further.
this happens all the time,
Yeah.
and this conversation happens every time an incident happens, and then for a few months people are on their good behavior, and then within no time we're back to people racing and 5 on a jet ski and nobody wearing any
it has to go further.
life jacket or anything, right? So yeah, it has to go further. Another one here. I enjoyed the 242 day. When is the next one?
I imagine a lot of persons probably
people are getting
had
it bad.
fun,
They still don't understand.
had
How could you ask
fun.
that question though?
I imagine a lot of persons probably had fun at the numbers houses too with 242.
Oh, 242
Boxing,
apparently
you know.
fell the night before. On the 23rd, we were told.
I believe a lot of
Yeah.
people had fun with that.
All right, so texter, I don't know if you're joking,
Probably joking.
but I don't know.
They're joking.
I think some people don't know. 242, right? The area code, yes, but it's the 24th of February. So
Second
the
month of the year.
24th day of the second month. 242. 242. February 22nd. Oh gosh. February 24th. February 24th. We've proclaimed it as 242 Day. Every year. Forevermore.
Yeah.
242 Day. So the next one is a year from now.
As long as we have that area code.
As long as you're right. And then if we get another one, we'll celebrate that too.
Yeah.
Okay. So February 24th, mark it in the calendar. It's going to be a Saturday next year. So we're celebrating on Friday and Saturday next year. And Saturday, that means everybody can have a big event, right? Start planning it now. Book out the place that you want for next year. Saturday. It's going to be amazing. Looking forward. Already had a couple ideas, but I want to see your creativity. Yeah. This person says here, Lord help us with what's wrong with this country. That Village Road roundabout is a complete mess. Tried to drop my daughter to school and could not turn back to Parkgate Road. Forced to continue north. Whose idea was this? Oh, you can't go around the roundabout? You sure?
So they had to go back. There probably isn't there a
You
roundabout
should
in
be
the
able to
front of
go
the
around.
school?
Yeah. So why couldn't you do that? Or is it just because you're forced to continue north?
Wow.
I've only gone south so far. And I'm trying to figure out what's that stretch that's still not paved. Why is that still not paved? What's that bit? It's just like
I haven't been on it
it's-
for a while. On that road for a while.
It's very odd. Okay, we're going to find out more information about that. Yeah. Well, a jet ski text to you, Dwight and Pam. Congrats on your marvelous 242 day. Okay. The sad incident concerning the jet ski slaying, license or not, the problem is that the sick hearts and minds of many folks amongst us. Too many people are cold and selfish, virtually heartless. Far too many folks have no mindfulness, empathy, care, or concern for others. Way too many seem to have no value for human life. For the last 14 or 15 years, virtually every day, I don't feel safe walking or driving anywhere because of these monsters around here. Either way, they can hit you and hurt you. Whether you're in on foot or in your vehicle, you still aren't safe. Now these sicko monsters are hitting you in the sea. What kind of holy hell is this? Well, I'm very sad to hear that you don't feel safe for a whole 14, 15 years. That is not good, and you might want to talk to somebody about that. That really, I know some things are bad. If you listen to the news all day long, you will feel like everything's going, as you said, holy hell. But things are bad, but they're not that bad. So that's not good. That's not good. But we do need to have more people who are caring and compassionate in the country, indeed. And we all have to work to ensure that people understand that and express that and feel that.
And I think these are learned behaviors, the heartlessness, the callousness. These are learned behaviors. People come up that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are behaviors that can be unlearned.
Plenty of people from
Because
very
people
young
start early on.
are being taught not to be so soft and to be, showing
And it doesn't
any
even
type
have
of
to be
emotion.
directly. It's just you are in an environment where you are watching what is being done and you just adopt those ways.
Huh. They're saying the exit from the school only goes heading to Shirley Street now. Before you had 2 exits. But wait, can't you go around the roundabout though?
Maybe not.
Are you saying, but where the school lets you out is, I get it.
So the school probably has to change.
You're not
now.
allowed to do a right turn there.
So the school now has to change its exit.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. The school has to allow you to come out by the roundabout. So there's just let's not panic yet. That can be tweaked. The school will have to make some adjustments to allow you to exit onto the roundabout, which might just go back to the same problems what everybody was saying before. But
So the school may have to have 2 exits. One that will take you around the roundabout, so you can head south, and the other one where you can head north. That's going to be, that's going to require some logistics.
The roundabout only makes sense if you can exit the school on the roundabout. If you don't exit on the roundabout, then it makes no sense at all.
Well, they may have to create.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
exit.
I think I know what they're talking about. So the way it's structured, the school never initially didn't want you going out where the roundabout is.
Right.
That was an entrance only. So the school has to make an adjustment. So give them some time, hopefully sooner than later, hopefully before the school year is out, or maybe they're waiting for the school year to be out. But it's a work in progress. We were told, remember, that it was just going to be the major part of the work was going to be done in January for Village Road. There's still a whole lot more to be done.
It's a challenge, and I mean, in my standard, this is a project that has not gone well.
Mm-hmm.
This has not gone well. It's been from my viewpoint, it has been poorly managed.
Yeah.
It just seems as if you're just picking stuff up as you go. It reminds me of the road works during the Ingram administration. It's like when they dig up the road, they realize, there's a problem here, and so we had to fix it. So to me, a lot of these things I feel are cultural. Like, I guess it's the same people in the same ministries. So then you have the same issues.
Yeah.
We had the same problem with the roadworks during the Ingram administration, and now we have this again. It's like we're just making it up as we go along. There's no blueprint that we say, okay, this is how it's going to be, and we are monitoring it, and we are letting all the stakeholders know this is how it's going to be. And actually, if we're talking about the roundabout, I don't think the school should have to pay to have it change. I think the government should have to do that because, they decide to put a roundabout there. So maybe they're waiting on them to fix that for them. I don't think that should be an expense out of their pocket.
Yeah. Maybe when they close for Easter or something. I will get more information for you. This person says, not sure what the text was talking about, but I used a roundabout. It was fine this morning, and it has been fine. You can access all exits. They probably use the northern exit for QC's campus that does not allow you to head south, but all they had to do was use the main entrance and exit. In addition, the school sent out details on how to exit and enter the campus. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, yeah, well, I'm sure it's going to be resolved. I'm sure it is. Okay, let us, what? This text. Let the school people find a yard and turn around like the rest of the normal people. They too like to complain. Bougie. No, texter.
I think that'd be funny. Find a yard and turn around.
They might be bougie. I went to QC. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But still, no, when you do those things, you cause more problems. Yeah. Somebody has to stop and do a turn, and they can't do it properly, and they have to reverse back. Nah. That's what normal people do. Those are the people who cause all the problems.
Like the Marathon Road, you're not supposed to go around.
God,
people are doing that.
That is, and I wish they put back those barriers. Some people mowed them down, but they need to put them back.
You need more permanent barriers, Dwight. Yeah, well, because I think people intentionally
I agree.
remove them.
I agree with you. I didn't want to say that. But they do need permanent barriers. They really do. This is foolish. And there was a reason that was done. It does hold up traffic. You cannot do that turn unless you have the tiniest car and not block up people and cause problems.
But still, they turn it and they reverse back.
Right.
They
have to. Or they go into the shopping, the store's parking lot. This is a big mess, and you create more problems. So, anyway, let's move on. All right, so big drama over the weekend. I guess empowered by the lifting of the injunction. Lincoln Bain and the Coalition of Independents decided they were going to deal with one shantytown. Depending on who you talk to, you get many different stories here. But the person who has the property, we believe she's a leaseholder, but folks were building on the property for years now, and every attempt she made to have them removed has not worked. And so different stories from the folks who are living there. They are saying they are paying rent, and whether that's true or not. But anyway, so you take a listen to a little bit of what was happening on Saturday, and then we'll get to what the newspapers are saying about it and want to get your views on it. And I'm going to say now, I'm telling you now, everybody is right in this story and everybody is wrong. This is one of those situations. But we'll talk about it. Take a listen.
We need everyone, move your stuff. The tractors is coming to demolish these buildings. All right? You all have already been warned. You said last time we talked to you. The tractor is coming. Miss Justina is coming to remove the building. All right? She's coming now. All right? The tractor is there. So move your stuff.
Coming now?
The tractor is here. We're just marking the building.
Yeah, come here.
So, go and get your stuff.
Go out watching. Go out watching. All that time come to money. All that time come to money.
What about this one here? What about this one here? What about this one?
I don't know. Where the people money you eat it? Where the people money you can't play it? I can't hear what you say.
I got him.
All right, so while this is going on, Bain, accompanied by dozens of supporters and the alleged leaseholder of the sprawling property, went door to door demanding that residents gather their possessions before the arrival of the bulldozers. During their attempt to destroy the buildings, which was broadcast live on Facebook, this is what we're playing here, Bain showed residents an alleged Ministry of Works letter from 2019 ordering residents to vacate the property. After Bain and his supporters knocked on the door of a home, one of the men with him marked the home with spray paint. The symbol, an X within a circle, was placed on the homes where the residents answered or not. A tractor eventually arrived at the shantytown. And more of what you're hearing there is explained to the residents. And, I saw an exchange earlier where somebody was saying that they are paying rent and they were accused of being a liar. And the person saying, I swear to God, I'm not lying. There were people making announcements in Creole as well. Bain said to one person, quote, "This is her property. She's coming to break down the houses now." Bain told this to a man, showing him the letter, which was in Haitian Creole as well. "We've been here several times to give warnings, so don't play like you didn't know." A pastor who built a church in the shantytown went door to door with Bain, translating Bain's demands. At one point, he asked for 3 months leniency for the residents, revealing that many of the people in the shantytown attend his church. However, Bain told the pastor that the residents had sufficient warning, but he added that he will not bulldoze the church. He addressed the pastor's church members inside the church, warning them that their homes would be bulldozed. However, many of the residents around the shantytown claimed they paid rent to live on the property. Others claimed that they had lived on the property for decades, including a blind man who said he lived on the land for 34 years. The The purported owner of the property, Justina Curry, acknowledged that she once had a farmer named Zammy working for her on the property, Zammy, and that blind man who had been there for 34 years might have worked with him. Curry said, quote, Zammy used to bring people in to help him farm the property. Bain questioned some people when they claimed to have paid rent on the property or when they claimed to have lived there for a long time. He told several people they weren't telling the truth about their claims. At one point, Bain spoke to a police officer, and eventually Assistant Commissioner of Police Bernard Bonamy arrived at the shantytown, and he ordered Bain and his group to cease their actions. Bonamy saying to the cheers from the residents, Pam, quote, no one will do no demolition around here until further notice. As Bain questioned how police could prevent the demolition, a seemingly irate Bonamy asked, quote, where is her property, Mr. Bain? Police eventually escorted Bain off the property. The property owners went into the back of a police car as Bonamy shouts for them to go to the Carmichael Road Detention Center. Eventually, in another video, Bain acknowledged that residents who were paying rent or squatting on the land would have to be removed with a court order. And Pam and I were talking about this off air. That is how it works when you have a tenant-landlord situation. You just can't do it. Many wish they could.
Many do. With the connections, I've heard stories about people who would go and remove the door and, go inside and pack up stuff and put them outside. But you cannot evict someone from a property unless you have a court order. And Mr. Bain is a lawyer. I think he's a lawyer by profession, or a former police officer, so he knows the process.
Now, yesterday, Bonamy, responding to an inquiry from the National Guardian, said that Bain was never in custody. He said Curry took Bain with her to have individuals removed from the property. Bonamy said, quote, she had a paper which indicated she owns the land. The proper procedure was explained to both of them, and they left the Carmichael Road police station. All right, so quite a scene there on Saturday. Now, that incident coming nearly a week after the Prime Minister warned shantytown residents to find alternative housing. I don't know if anybody has packed up yet, but...
I think the former Prime Minister did the same thing, right?
Yeah. We've heard this many times before, and since then, the number of homes just grows, right?
Expand.
It's like that. There's code for...
We're not going to do nothing.
Or build more.
We're not going to do nothing.
Oh, dear. So sad. It also follows a February 10th ruling by Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson that the government's shantytown eradication policy and actions were legal. The case was brought by a group of shantytown residents, as you know, and you know that story. Okay, so let us get your reaction to this. It is hurtful. It is horrible to you have property, whether you own it or lease it, to see this, and when you go and you try to have them remove, the people laugh at you, tell you stuff, threaten you, God knows what they do. But they don't move. They do everything but move.
But there's a process. So if they're serious about removing them, they would go to the courts. Now, the question is, does this owner or this person who's claiming to be the owner own the property, or did they initially lease the property from government to farm? See, I think that's where there's a lot of corruption going on, Dwight. Because if you got papers to lease property to farm and you do something else on the property, that should be an easy fix for government to revoke your lease. That's an easy fix. That's not difficult.
It should be. But if the government believes that we have a housing challenge and an employee, a worker shortage, will that government act?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the fact that this person used this land for the purposes unintended.
Yeah.
So you remove. I haven't said that we are going to just bulldoze the town. You should revoke that lease. That's the first place. That should go back to the government. And then a part of your plan for dealing with the shanty town should be enforced.
You said the key words: plan. Having a plan, and we don't. We obviously don't.
No,
we obviously don't. And this woman's situation is not unique, right? And yet it's always the same outcome. Once in a while, maybe as an election's coming, something might, right? There'll be a little show. But otherwise, business as usual.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that we can do to fix this problem. And a lot of this has to do with this work permit persons who receive work permit, and how long do you have the work permit? And is the work permit a preclude for you living in the Bahamas or securing permanent residency? Because when I think of a work permit, you're working somewhere temporarily, right? But I think it's being used differently. Like how many persons have, from this category, have gotten a work permit and went back to their country? Many of them probably stay here forever and a day.
Well, eventually transition to permanent residents or even citizens.
But should it be like that? That's my point. It should not be like that.
Well, that's a very deep conversation. Very, and I'm sure we've got many examples of people who have made great contributions, who've gone through that path.
I'm not saying that you cannot apply, I'm not saying that you cannot apply, but how many persons that were on work permit that have received citizenship?
It's too many to count, Pam. Too many.
Do you know? Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm sure
we don't know.
It's a big number. It's a big number.
But it shouldn't be, and that's contributing to the problem that we are having.
Well, I mean, that's different from coming here illegally, though.
But okay, how many persons have come here illegally, got a work permit, and then got citizenship?
It's similar, but a different story, and both need to be addressed. Absolutely. Let's see what our callers have to say. Good morning. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Pam.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well.
Doing well, thanks.
Pam, I don't know if that court action is applicable in this case. Because, you, when you rented your place, you and that individual, you had an agreement that you were obligated to do certain things, So, but that's like, say, if I have a house, right, and I go away for like 3 months, somebody break into my house, and they decide to take up residence, I must now go to the court and ask them to move out of my house?
No, the problem that we're having is when you came back, you didn't ask them to move.
No, I asked them to get out of my house, and they refused. They refused to move out of my house. I must now go to the court and ask them to move out of my house?
Yeah, you have to, because you may have somebody who is dealing with these people unfairly, and so you have to go to the court to get the authorization. But I think the difference with our shantytown situation is these people were there for years. See, it's not like you came back and you said, these people are in my place, and you move them out. That's probably what happens in Long Island. That's why they don't have any. The problem in New Providence and these other family islands is they are allowed to stay there. And then we woke up one day and say, you got to go now. And so you have to go to the court system.
And so the courts will charge them with breaking and entering into my home illegally.
Well, I don't know if it's illegal.
She went back to the other case.
No, they entered into my house illegally, right?
See, as Pam says, the length of time you allow that situation to go on is where you may run into problems.
I don't think it's a time factor. Okay, it's what
these two. I'm glad that you use that example, but they're very different, and they cannot be used as the same to make. They can't be compared easily. If you came back to your house and met some people there, and you just and they tell you they ain't going nowhere, and you're just like, oh well,
call the police,
right? No, you can't just say, oh well. Call the police. Call some folks to come and help you remove them, and act immediately. If you say, okay, well then I can come back here later. Right. You pay me to stay here, or I can come back and deal with you next month or 2 months from now, in 6 months when I feel better because I just got off my trip and I'm tired. Right? If you do that, the longer you let them stay there, the longer your problems are going to be.
But but I agree with that. I agree. Because under the current law, I think you can really acquire property after 10 years or 12 years, like that. Right?
Yeah, but even if you have somebody in your house and you knew that they were there for 6 months and you weren't happy about it, but they're still there, you have some issues now.
No, but I said if I call the police, right, and they don't move.
Now you know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but see,
right? If you call the police,
but see, the police cannot enforce cannot enforce the law. It's
See,
the
no, that's what I'm saying. You're mixing up these two examples.
No.
Cannot be compared. If in your example, if you were to call the police,
the police can arrest them, right? And then they have to be taken to the courts and be charged before the courts. That's all the police can do.
Yeah, I agree. If you came back from vacation and you saw some people in your house and you immediately called the police, they're going to arrest them and going to deal with that. This situation with the shanty town is different. It's you came back and you decided to charge them rent.
But there is no evidence that is happening.
Well, in this case, there is. Because she said she had Zammy, and Zammy had some people working with him, and they had to have a place for Zammy to house his workers.
So Zammy was getting the rent.
Zammy, initially, perhaps, somebody was. And it just spiraled out of control from there.
I wait to see what's going to happen with this.
Yeah, but the landlord, the landowner kind of protected herself. She said, yeah, I remember a time down there when I hired Zammy, and Zammy got, a blind guy, and so he brought some people on to help him. So the landlord kind of protected herself by saying that she understands.
I don't understand because this guy says he been there for the past 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and a man built a whole church in the back there. A whole church.
Mm-hmm. That's what's going on.
Stuff in the back there. A whole church, and you don't know what's going on. It's
helipad and rocket launcher probably too. All kinds of things in the back there. God knows. Yeah.
Be in trouble.
But you can't be passive behaving people. I mean, don't do anything crazy. But if you see something going on, do something. Don't allow it to get to this point, and don't become a part of the problem.
Yeah, I get that, but I think people do. But I think we have a problem in government. If you see something and you see something going up, and you call immigration, but they don't move.
Yeah.
At some point, you're going to be like, you know what? Anyhow.
And also,
I did my part.
Government, speaking of government, and all the MPs who've ever served this person in this area, they say it's the Carmichael area, so that could be a number of different MPs. But my God, I mean, I don't know how you all sleep at night, right? Knowing that this has been going on and that there are people who are having these situations all over. So what do you do? What is your purpose?
This problem is out of control because I've been in large part because of government. Not setting out the policy and not enforcing it. Yeah. It's out of our control. Yeah, you could hire somebody that you should not hire. And then what's the penalty for that? How many business owners or how many companies have been prosecuted for hiring people that didn't have the proper work permit? Not many.
You remember in our conversation a few days ago, they were saying they don't always publicize this stuff.
Okay.
And that's the wrong message.
No,
people need to see this and hear this.
No, in the courts. If you went to the court and you were charged, it would be in the papers. Mm-hmm.
But they don't publicize this. They don't want to hurt the business community and make them look bad, I guess.
No, I think that's an excuse to say they're not doing it. That's an excuse to say that they're not doing it.
People need to hear that there are consequences for this action. And so don't do this because you're going to be fined. You may face jail time. This is a problem.
Recently, we found some sex workers, right? Right?
And only they were charged.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
Yeah. So this is foolishness. And again, it goes back to the government, the will of the government. This is why you have leaders of the government. You have a cabinet minister and a party chairman asking, what more do you want us to do on immigration? Really? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning, Pam.
Good morning.
Very interesting conversation. And there are a few disconnects that we have to take into consideration. It seems as if the laws of this country only applies to certain people, i.e. Bahamians. Everybody else gets a bite. There are so many charges that can stem out of this one incident yesterday that has been brought into the spotlight. First and foremost, building of homes without or structures without proper permits. Where is the law pertaining to that aspect? That's a charge. Building on land that is not yours. That's another charge. The person who is the recipient of the land, where's the charges on that person? Because all these things were allowed on the land, but it seems as if the laws that as we know them have not been adhered to. So there's enough for everyone to get charges on them. And then lastly, this matter here is only a microcosm of perhaps what's going on in many of these communities, as you so rightfully said, Dwight. If you were to go into Angleton, you'll probably find the same situation, just that it isn't been spotlighted or highlighted. You go into the Grove, same thing. You go into perhaps even Elizabeth, same thing. So how are we going to get a handle on this thing? When is the agencies, when you report these things, going to mobilize themselves, go into these areas, do their due diligence, do their investigations, and then hold the people responsible? The laws are there. It's just that we have a hard problem with enforcing the laws, and not just enforcing them on certain people, but enforcing it across the board on everyone. And until we are to that level, the same thing we're talking about right now, again, I can guarantee you we'll be talking about it in another 5 years. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. One more call, then I want to get through some of your text messages. Are you there, caller? Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and Pam.
Hi, good morning.
So I am a real estate agent, and this isn't rocket science. Pam made a valid point. If someone goes to the government and gets crown land for farming or whatever reason, and it's approved for that, and they then do it, use it for another land use, I am pretty sure there is rules or law that speak to revoking that lease.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, if you, as an owner, if you legitimately have a residence or an apartment that you're renting, and we do this all the time with the expats that come in, we have an expat clause in our lease that says, in the event that your work permit is not renewed or you're transferred from the Bahamas by your company, you have to give 60 days notice and you have to show proof of such. In this case, it's opposite. Nobody should be renting to anybody without knowing, one, that there is a permit for you to reside in the country legitimately. Yeah. And if you don't ask those questions, or if you rent something without a lease, then that's on you as a landlord, but the government is at fault for all of this, because you can't have single-family resident lot and having multi-units like a shantytown built on it. If you have a multi-family lot, you have to, no matter what you build, whether single-family or multi-family, you have to have a permit from town planning in order to construct such buildings. And it has to pass all the codes, and it has to pass inspection. So there's clearly something else going on. Either people of influence own these land and these land and are getting away with it, or the government just doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
It's probably a little bit of all of the above, eh? Yeah.
I think it's both.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah.
The government, successive administration, do not have the will to deal with this problem. Mm-hmm. And the focus on their policy has been repatriation.
Mm-hmm. If you get caught.
Yeah, if you get caught.
If you get caught.
And so if you're able to come here, and you can. It's easy to come here. You have cell phones. You could pin your location. So it's not like times past when you came in and didn't know where you were going and wandering. You could come in and go directly to where your people tell you should show up.
I know they used to tell us that when we were kids. That these folks are trying to get to the States. Don't buy that stupid narrative. They want to come here very badly. This is Mecca. This is the most wonderful place.
Because again, you have your technology. Come. Let me tell you, come this way because I could get a job for you. And this work permit, I think there needs to be an audit. There needs to be scrutiny. And this is what the parliament is for. You know, I heard the narrative about telling permanent residents, permanent secretaries not to appear. But see, I always said this before, Dwight. This is a good system we have, because it's so flexible. They're always having select committees in the UK. When something happens, they bring the people before, because you know what they're trying to do? Find out the problem and create the solution. And that's what we ought to have. It's supposed to be functioning in our government. select committees. But what happens is when one party is in power, they don't allow the opposition to do it. And so when that party becomes the government, they don't allow. So we have this political football that's being kicked. And at the end, we as a country suffer and we don't grow and develop.
A lot more on this after the break, folks. We're going to pick this up, especially from this work permit aspect. Stay with us right after the news.
To run, let's protect our sovereignty. Yes, together in harmony.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Monday, February 27th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. And this morning we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to continue our conversation about what's happening in the shanty towns. It is definitely work-related, business-related, and getting a reaction to what happened over the weekend and why we are still at this point. And again, what the PLP chairman, Fred Mitchell, is saying. And what that, what signs that tells you about how the current administration is going to be moving forward on immigration and work permit matters. I think we've got more than enough signs to say this is perhaps government policy here. We also want to get to the lead story in the Nassau Guardian today. It's not quite business related, but it's pretty interesting. Tensions rise in the F&M over former leader Minnis, and also something that's in the in the Tribune today about gas retailers. They are once again grumbling and rumbling, and this is coming as gas prices once again creep up to close to $6. People aren't talking about that much, but we are up there again. And so trouble is ahead, it seems. All right, so a lot to get to in this hour. And so we've got a lot of your text messages from before. We want to get to those. And you can continue to call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Some of your messages. Someone says here, who are these people paying rent to? The lady said she hired a farmer, so she wasn't renting to them. And we have people here who have been on a work permit for more than 20 years, but Bahamians can do their jobs. And the court action still applies. I had to get permission to have people move off a property left to me. It was hell on earth. But in the end, they were ordered to move, and the property was cleared. Yeah, lots of questions there.
Yeah, I think this is a work permit thing. Like, is that? It just seems so permanent.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it does seem, yeah. This
but
is
in large quantity. It just seems so permanent.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is from someone who might know how this works. You cannot rent leased Crown land. Well, they certainly are doing it, though. People are certainly doing it. So I guess you're not supposed to. That's what you're saying? Because this is not a real rental situation. Although I know that she probably was renting. Boy, well, we have to crack down on it. It's been going on for so long, and no one believes that anybody's serious about it. Right?
Not by the actions.
Definitely not. Yeah. This can be fixed by our cabinet ministers if they have the will, I'm sure. That is the question, right? Again, as we said, Fred Mitchell is again saying something we heard in that voice note a few weeks ago that we still haven't gotten over. This was last week at the National Central Council meeting, the PLP's National Central Council meeting, saying that party supporters should not be distracted by the narrative of some political protesters that the Bahamas is experiencing an immigration crisis. Mitchell said, quote, "There's this narrative, and we have to be careful how we adopt this narrative, and it's based on what I think is a false premise. You have this man and his partner, and I call them the Bopsy Twits." I think people know who he's talking about, right? Who are out there whipping up hysteria in the population about some people who are supposedly taking over our country. I assure you that there is a crisis in Haiti. There is no crisis in Nassau. So the institutions are functioning and fully functioning. Okay. Last year, the immigration minister repatriated 4,700 irregular migrants from Haiti, a record that is continuing. So when people come to you and say the government needs to do blah, blah, what more do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? We all have answers. We all have answers for the minister, but as you said earlier, Pam, the policy, and that's the only plan they have, is to repatriate. If we find you, we will repatriate you, and that is the government's policy on illegal migration. End of story. And as we've heard from Mitchell himself, we need more workers. They're doing the jobs Bahamians apparently don't want to do, and we need them, especially since we have more migrants from the north coming. And so in order to, and as Bahamians aren't having enough babies, we will need more of them. This is the unspoken policy, which nobody has denied, and they're refusing to address those comments, which have caused so much concern.
Well, see, what I want for our leaders to do is address this with information. Don't just tell me what you think or what you feel. Present the information to support your position, right? So if we have shortages, where are the shortages? What are the areas? We have shortages in farm laborers, but then we still are not at the point where we have enough agriculture to even almost sustain ourselves.
Because you don't have enough workers.
Because they're not working on the farms. They are living on the farms. they're paying rent to live on the farm. So these
No
people are
place to
getting
grow the crops.
Yeah, exactly. Is occupied by their homes, right? Do we need workers at our Waukee? Are we short on workers at our Waukee or Portaskeet Dog?
The salad makers who are all not Bahamians anymore.
Yeah. So
Well.
my thing is, where are the shortages?
Now, what we
Help
have
us to
heard,
know.
the Department of Immigration has said that in technical skills, so we know that. But other than that, we have not heard.
Yeah, I want to know where the shortages are. And then as a government, then your policy should be to implement some of these programs in the school, because irrespective of the fact that they are claiming that we need these people, we still have over 5,000 students coming out of school every year. And a youth unemployment rate in the mid-20s. So knowing that information and not trying to deal with it or not setting up policies to fix it, it's a failure on government.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of your text messages. Let's get to those after this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning to Palm. How y'all doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yeah, I watched the whole saga play on Saturday. I'm not familiar in terms of having any relationship with either person, Mr. Bain or the lady who owns the property. But it was a bit heartbreaking to see what was about to unfold with the breaking down of the shanty towns, with the kids there. I think that would have a psychological effect on them. If this lady has documents showing that she have an agreement with the government to do it, to farm on the land, right? And if she goes back there and she wants persons off her land, she is in her right to have persons removed. Now I heard there's a lot of speculation about renting. Well, that is another case before the court. But in the interim, she has a right to have persons escorted off her land if they want to sue her.
There's a process.
If they want to, see, I think if we keep convoluting things, that's why we never get results. If she's in her right to have ownership to that property by the government, then she has a right to have persons removed. They would have to take it to court and sue her for whatever else happened. Then the government would have to look into it and see if she was doing any unscrupulous things, so that she can have the agreement revoked and the land repossessed.
But even Lincoln Bain came back and said that
there's a process.
The court will have to order them off.
That's a process. So I think, but in the interim, the people need to leave. The police was there. He took the police there to witness all of this and ensure that things went as planned. Is it a court order? Was that a court order?
Absolutely. That they had
Yes.
No. He was bringing proof that she's the leaseholder.
No, I think she needs a court order.
Yes, so she has to go to court, and she could still do that. She could do that today.
Yes,
go to
she
court
needs a
and go
court
through the
order.
process.
Yeah.
Now, if she have a problem getting a court order because now she has to prove to the court she is the owner of this land, and then I think some other things may come up.
Yeah. You got it.
She cannot. Yeah, she needs a court order to have them removed. She just can't go there and remove them.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. This is across the board, just a terrible situation, and it's very sad it had to get to this point, and this is decades in the making, right? And so, boy. As this texture sums it up the best, right? This is what this is: greed, lies, and corruption. All of this contributed to this scenario here, which plays out all over the country.
And the continued greed, lies, and corruption that's allowing this problem
Madness.
to spiral out of control and has become a crisis.
Wow. This person says here the courts continue to appear to be ineffective. Lincoln is right. Now the courts have an opportunity to appear normal and quickly resolve this test case. Well, normal is an interesting word to use, but to do what's right. Let's say that.
There's a process to evict somebody. You have to go to the court for the court to hear your case. And then the court will give, once they hear the case and they're in agreement, they will give the renter a certain time period to be removed. And you still cannot, after that time period has come, evict them, go and remove them. You have to go back to the courts and say they are still there for the court to give you an eviction notice.
You're kidding.
There's a process. Now, I know in this country, because I've heard stories about people who got their police friends or they got their people to be bold, but that's illegal.
Wow.
And move people by force. That is illegal.
Boy, I tell you, this text is out of nowhere. But anyway, please tell me who are the super brains that decided to reconnect that traffic light at West Bay Street and Nassau Street and clog up the streets again. Well, it's dangerous. Something is needed there because now the trailers as well come barreling at you at 100 miles per hour, and people are speeding who are heading west. And if you're coming out of Nassau Street, you're putting your life in grave danger by trying to get out of there. So something is needed. Something is needed. But of course, all the lights on this island, the traffic signals are not synchronized and need major help. And even though they've been talking about doing that for years, here we are. Because 3 out of 5 mornings on my way here, Pam, every single light stops me. Everyone.
Are you one of
and
those persons?
I can see them. Like, there's no way. There's no way. But we're getting sidetracked.
When you're on Seabreeze, you try to beat it all? Like,
it doesn't matter. You drive fast, you won't get it. You drive slow, you won't get it. It's going to stop you.
Yep.
So I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, that's a whole other show. This person says, good morning, this is so sad. Condolences to... Oh, this is jet ski. Okay, yeah, condolences to the family. Absolutely. Somebody asked earlier, what if this were a guest? Well, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It is horrible no matter what. It doesn't make a difference. And if you only care if they're a guest of the Atlantis, well, that's I don't know what to say about you. Not saying that this is what you were saying, Texter. I'm just saying, I'm sure people are thinking it. Okay. Shanty towns built illegally need to be removed or brought into building code or plans, but just bulldozing the homes sends the people elsewhere on the island, and the issue persists. And perhaps this is our theory. This is why the government is slow to act here, because Prime Minister Davis said it at CARICOM, right? And we're told by Glenn Watson, the press secretary, that all these things that he says are true. He just adjusts his tone for the audience. So that is obviously a concern of the administration, that we could have a homelessness crisis if that were to happen.
So what are we doing to address that? What are we doing to ensure that when we do move to implement the policy, that won't be an issue?
Let's hope somebody within the cabinet meetings asks that question, or has been asking, because I don't know. I don't know if they do. Or they just say, well, let's just act slowly and the people will get old enough and move on their own. Okay.
Some people over 30 years, I don't think that's happening.
They've got roots, deep roots. This person says, well, if you pay rent, you should have a receipt to prove it.
Okay. Not necessarily.
Another one says, I'm satisfied that former PM and Mr. The former PM and Mr. Bain appeared as though they are doing something compared to this current administration who's letting these people violate numerous laws and take over. This one says here, Pam, you were misguided this morning regarding the land issue with the lady. The lady was trying to get those people off the property for years. She was told the issue was hers to deal with, and she recalled the myriad of persons in government she approached for help and got none.
Well, obviously you have some inside story on what's going on, but did she go to the courts?
Name and shame all of those people.
Did she go to the courts?
Every single last name, and if you have any correspondence, that needs to be made public. Let's see which one, because they always come back every election asking for your help. And if they're this pathetic and useless, then we don't need them. We don't need them at all, right? So everybody needs to know who she talked to. Every name. This person says here, there's a shanty town on my grandparents' land on Cowpen Road, along with hundreds of homes, really looking at what happens with this. So I'm just curious. What have you done so far? I mean, like, what did you try to do? What tell us about it. Text us back. We got to know. I mean, I can't imagine you just looking at that and like, wow, these people bold, eh? Look at that. Oh, boy, one day I got to deal with this. Well, what do you do?
Go to the courts to have them removed. Follow the process through.
This person says here, where is the government's responsibility in this? People are actually building on properties they don't own. Bahamians have to purchase property, get approval to build. What is going on? Indeed. What is going on? This person says here, I would guess that most Haitian migrants come here undocumented and get status sometimes after they arrive. We need to deal with this issue in a clear way so people who migrate as well as citizens understand that permits should be applied for and processed while the applicant is outside the country. Also, Bahamians need to advise immigration when the permit holder no longer works for them. Yeah, that's true. We're part of the problem. That's what they're saying. Yep. Does that happen? Do you think that happens? You waste
I
time
would
going
venture
back?
to say
it's very hard to call these departments.
I would venture to say, Dwight, there are a number of persons on property that they didn't go to the bank and purchase. On the high end, the Quieting Act, and on the low end, the Squatters, is it the Squatters Act? Or you could, if you squat on a property, I would venture there are a lot of Bahamians that are on properties.
It's just the middle being squeezed.
Yeah, the later ones who came up, and have to go to the courts and stuff. But I imagine there are a number of persons, Bahamians,
So, probably the majority
in the country that are on property that they got just by being there for a long period of time.
So we said, good job to those folks, eh? Yeah, you did it. You didn't get caught. You look at you. And look at that. And then look over there, that fool. Look at that fool. Look at Dwight playing a mortgage like an idiot. What's wrong with him? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. Everybody, the rich people and the poor people laughing at the middle class. Stupid, idiotic middle class people doing things right.
No, you just came in late. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
You came in late.
Late to the scammers party. Okay.
Well, it's nothing wrong with it, apparently, right? Because you're still quiet land.
We haven't changed that law.
No. You still do that, right? So,
and people are still squatting and building on property there.
So that's why if you see them immediately, you have to deal with it. You cannot let it linger, collect rent from them, and then down the road, 10, 15 years, have a problem with it because you're going to have some challenges.
Wow. What are you talking about when the government broke down the domes in Abaco with Bahamians living in there? Something is definitely wrong with us. I mean, you said it, Bahamians. They did it to Bahamians, yeah. This one says that the courts are slow unless in this country, that, or maybe they try to say useless. They say unless, but slow and useless. That's my opinion. Okay, I hear you. Tell the police to stop talking fool. The woman said she complained to the authorities. We have people calling into talk shows every day about people on their property, 20 years, still calling. Okay, but got to say those names. Say, who did you talk to? Who did you talk to? This one says here, if the government gets rid of the shanty towns, they get rid of voters. So that's a problem. Second thing, someone has to be seriously benefiting from the shanty towns financially. So why not prosecute the landowners? Well, we've said it many times. It's often the government, right?
Yeah.
It's the government who's leased out the property to somebody and then it goes from there. So
and then even that, you talk about persons who squatted in time past, right? What qualify you to be approved for a lease for farmland?
Right.
What qualifies you?
Just, I'm a Bahamian.
Or you support a party.
Okay.
Can the average person just walk up and apply to get a lease for Crown Land?
I grew a flower in a pot one time. Now I want to be a farmer.
What qualifies someone for that?
That's it.
So some people say favor, and they say favor ain't fair.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, if you want to farm and, cultivate, I don't see any problem in applying for a piece of Crown Land.
Just do it, though. Do farm in the end, right?
But
make sure you farm.
In reference to these incidents on the weekend, I think that was very inhumane and should never be allowed to happen again. And, first, in reference to the lady with her documents, she said she went to all the different people for help. did she go to the court? Which judge? Which court number what? You know, I had this experience on 2 occasions, right? The first one we gave the people because we rented to 3 persons, and the following month I went to collect the rent. I saw 2 persons coming from the side back door, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, when we saw things progress and we gave them the eviction notice, thank God, they abided by it and they left. The second time, it was a different story. We had to go to the courts. How, you know, they come to court, the judge tells me, the magistrate, and then you would get an officer who would go there, you understand, and serve the summons or whatever, and have them removed. And sometimes they may drag their feet. But you go back to the court, or you go back, you know, with the officers or whatever, and you deal with it. But you should never take it upon yourself to go, because I mean, Mr. Bain and the lady, bless her heart, they went and were trying to make something happen. But it could have suppose those persons in those homes retaliated, pulled out guns or whatever, cutlass or whatever have you, and you know we had bloodshed. You know, and far too often we have these people leasing these properties, right, to the Haitians for years and years and years, right, collecting monies, and the minute they say, I guess people steal themselves and decide, well, I'm not going to pay, or they go late or whatever like that, and it just manifests, it gets out of hand, right, and then, you know, I think we have to do things in decency and in order. And the different relevant government agencies have to pick up statements, do what they're supposed to, and once these different agencies do what they're supposed to, I think you'll see a difference in you know what happens going forward. But I don't think you should take it upon yourself, taking a tractor and going on in these places because you're opening yourself.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
To get hurt. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And as I said earlier, I mean, we understand what they're trying to do, and something needs to be done, but you have to be very careful the way you do it.
But he admitted that he did something wrong. He knew what he was doing was wrong. Yeah. I think but the fact that it was on Facebook Live as well showed it was there for entertainment and theatrics.
Oh, that's what you think?
Because he said he had to go to the court.
But again, something needs to be done, and the government has done very little. And just talk, but this is not the way to do it. And it is bad optics as well with the and us not endorsing anybody squatting on in shanty towns. This is all wrong. It's terrible. But something has to be done. But you can't go around spraying X's and circles on people's houses, whether they was illegally built or not. This is a bad law.
I think the landowner should go to the courts. They can do that this week and begin that process of having those persons removed from their property. Let's see this one play out. Let's see what the courts do in this case.
While we go on the break, got to look and see. Was it an X with a circle around it in Germany too in the 30s?
No, it was a triangle.
Was it? I can't. I gotta look it up. It wasn't swastika, but it was something horrible. It was horrible, and this is the only thing that it can remind you of, and it's just not. Boy, oh boy. Let's take these calls really quickly before we take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there, caller? Hi. Turn down your radio for us, please. Are you there? No. Okay. Let's take the other call. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yes. Didn't you have some people from persons on your radio show like last year sometime from not Atlanta survey, from the guy who just retired? I can't remember, but who said that when people reported to them, they would try to do something, they would get a call from higher up telling them don't touch the property or don't touch the land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, we're not hearing you at all now. Say the part again. All right, something's going on with your phone. I don't know what that is. But yeah, interesting point. You remember that? I think you were on that show too, Pam, right? Remember? That was the forestry unit, and there was another department, they wanted to deal with these things, and they got a call from the upper, and we said it. I wish you would say who that was, who told you
Well,
that.
they couldn't do that because they work for the government. And you see now...
I hope everyone heard me sucking my teeth,
No,
right?
but see...
We have to stop protecting these people.
Well, no, you see permanent secretaries now being encouraged not to follow the law and go through with an investigation. So I don't fault them for not coming forward because they work.
Leak it.
But that's
Call
why
me
I
after the
said-
show and leak it. Tell me who it was.
But that's why I'm saying that as a private landowner, they should go to the courts.
Yeah.
Let's see this play out.
Well,
And let's really see where the problem lies.
Crazy.
But I don't expect someone working for the government to come out and expose the government
Okay.
unless they have their resignation letter on the desk.
Yeah. Well,
to leave.
okay. Call the Nassau Guardian 302-2300 and ask for me or any of our reporters when you have information like that, so that we can go directly to the person. Did you tell these folks not to do anything when they came to you about a shantytown and a place? Say, deny it. Tell us right now. Did you say it or not?
And they would say, I have no comment. I haven't even seen the letter
well,
or I haven't
fine.
seen anything.
That's
Yeah.
fine. But we could put it right in the paper that you denied telling folks not to take down whatever, to take action against something when it was reported to you back in this year. And so it will be on the record that you denied it. But everyone will already have made up their mind. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, am I on?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I want you. Good morning, everyone. I want y'all to understand what Mr. Bain said. Mr. Bain said the lady cannot get a eviction letter because she don't have no name of the people who occupy these buildings. He said he was going to take down the building that is already empty. He never was going to take down the building that is occupied. He said that you have to go and get a court order to try to get the people evicted from the property. But the building that was unoccupied is what he said. He never. So he explained what could be done or what cannot be done. So don't misquote what he said. But the problem is that the people on the property has no name. They have faces but no name. So she have to go to court with a name. And that's what he explained with the situation he had. That's what he's explained the situation he had. You need the name of the people. And you ain't getting that. To
So
go
when
to court for the people.
What she should have been doing on the weekend was getting the names.
But they're not giving the names. That's the problem with she's having.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, our reporter says they were putting the X in the circle on the homes, whether people answered the door or not. So that's that. As the previous caller said, that could have ended very,
But
very
that's
badly.
why you have to go to the courts.
Very, very bad.
That's why it's important to go to the courts, because if they had resisted,
Yeah.
that could have ended badly.
So if the MPs are listening to the non-crisis that they claim we have, well, maybe you need to adjust the law so that even if you don't know the name of the person who's taken over your property, that will not be the impediment to you getting court action. That sounds relatively simple to me in my non-legal brain.
I don't know if it's all that, though. I mean, because they said there's a church on the property. I know they know the name of the church owner. So start there.
Oh, this is bad.
You start with if you have one name, start with that one name,
real
and then you
crazy.
continue on. So I don't know if that's an excuse that can be used for not going to the. So you don't want to go to the court because you don't have a name, but then you want to bring a tractor and just bulldoze a property, people's.
The abandoned ones.
Yeah, that's what they said, Dwight. But
I mean, everybody's talking foolishness. Everybody. And but everybody is right that something has to be done.
yeah.
Let's take a break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Started to cry, but then remembered I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, yeah, say things you don't understand.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit cfal.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Alive is rewarding its prepaid and postpaid customers because you deserve it. Become an Alive prepaid customer and get cash back in your wallet. Or switch to Alive postpaid and earn monthly credit and data so you never have to pay your bill in full again. Download the My Alive app and get rewards today. Alive. Believe in best.
Get your Carifta tickets. The 58th Carifta Games is coming. April 7th to April 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Online at Carifta50.com or at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, Western Grand Entrance. For more details, email tickets at Carifta50.com or call 605-4051.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Bahamas has not given up on its bid to become a cryptocurrency hub. That's according to Economic Affairs Minister Michael Alcides. He explained Thursday that there will be more communication from the government on the promotion of this jurisdiction as a crypto space soon. Alcides, who was speaking at the Organization for Responsible Governance's Road Beyond 50 Economic Roundtable discussion, said that while the collapse of cryptocurrency exchange FTX was an unfortunate circumstance, the government has not abandoned the idea of becoming a hub in its wake. You can read more on that in today's Guardian Business section. Also from that roundtable, the Central Bank Governor John Rawls saying that the key to developing more Bahamian-owned commercial banks is for not only a viable business plan and model to be executed, but for banking services to be provided beyond the Bahamas. Rawls was answering a question on how the country could get more local ownership in the new commercial banks. And new commercial banks is called for in the country's National Development Plan. Rawls said that if you have a viable business plan and if you can get the banking business operating and it can sustain itself and not lose the funds that depositors have placed with you, so that's often a very difficult thing for people to do in the country because it's a very small market. He said looking beyond the Bahamas is key. Read more on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister Chester Cooper and the ministry announcing that it intends to issue a notice for the preliminary stage of the bidding process for 14 Family Island airports through a public-private partnership. The government is seeking to leverage the creative development, delivery, financing, and operational efficiencies of the private sector for the redevelopment, upgrade, operation, and maintenance of select Family Island airports. The airports include 4 on Exuma, with the option to bundle 3 of them for development. That's Exuma International Airport, Staniel Key Airport, and the Black Point Airport, and the Farmers Key Airport. Additionally, the government is seeking to redevelop 3 airports in Abaco, the Leonard M. Thompson International Airport, Treasure Key Airport, and Sandy Point International Airport. Read more on the other airports in today's Guardian Business section. And BTC continues to bleed subscribers, ending 2022 with 170,400 mobile subscribers, down from 173,200 registered in the first half of last year. Those subscribers were split 146,000 with prepaid services and 24,000 postpaid, down from 141,700 and 31,500 at last year's halfway point, respectively. Prepaid customers grew by 4,500 in the final quarter of the year, while postpaid subscribers fell by 600. Nevertheless, Liberty Latin America, the parent company of Cable and Wireless Caribbean, which includes the Bahamas, Jamaica, and Barbados, reported strong growth in that business component during the fiscal year 2022, with subscriber adds pushing reported and rebased revenue up 3% and 4%, respectively. Overseas, a contingent of Chinese companies led by technology giant Huawei is turning the world's biggest wireless trade fair into an opportunity to show their muscle in the face of Huawei's blacklisting by Western nations, concerned about cybersecurity and escalating tensions with the U.S. over TikTok, spy balloons, and computer chips. After 3 years of pandemic disruption, they are among tens of thousands in Barcelona for MWC, also known as Mobile World Congress, an annual tech industry expo starting today where mobile phone makers show off new devices and telecom industry experts and executives peruse the latest networking gear and software. Out of 2,000 exhibitors and sponsors, 150 are Chinese companies, and Huawei Technology Limited has the biggest presence. The smartphone and network equipment maker expanded its footprint by 50% from last year and is taking up almost an entire vast exhibition hall in Barcelona. That's striking considering that Huawei has been at the center of a geopolitical battle over global technology supremacy that's left parts of its business crippled by Western sanctions. And a majority of the nation's business economists, U.S. economists, expect a U.S. recession to begin later this year than they had previously forecast, after a series of reports have pointed to a surprisingly resilient economy despite steadily higher interest rates. 58% of 48 economists responded to a survey by the National Association for Business Economics envision a recession sometime this year. The same proportion who said so in the survey in December, but only a quarter think a recession will have begun by the end of March. Only half the proportion who had thought so in December. The findings reflecting a survey of economists from business trade associations, and academia were released today. A third of the economists who responded to the survey now expect the recession to begin in the April-June quarter, and 1/5 think it will start in the July-September quarter. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Friday. Your market movers, Commonwealth Bank moving 50,000 shares, unchanged at $3.58. Consolidated Water down 3 cents, closing at $3.05. Emir Incorporated up 17 cents, closing at $9.91. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,589.82, unchanged. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in for CFAL Talks tonight right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 at 6:30 p.m.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Pamela Musgrove. We are talking about the shantytown situation and what's being done or not done about it, and doing it, if there is, questioning whether there is a right way to deal with the situation, getting a reaction to what happened over the weekend. And we're going to quickly get to what's happening with the F&M and what's happening with gas station retailers in a bit as well. But text us 422-4796. Get your final calls in really quickly. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us. Again, text us 422-4796. Caller, okay, we lost. Yep. Caller, good morning. You are live on the air. Are you there? Still having some issues with some calls from certain companies. We're going to have to sort that out. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Can you imagine? Hi, caller. You're on the air. Good morning. We can hear you. Yes, you, right? Okay. Hi, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
I'm calling about this Lincoln Bain shantytown situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Mr. Bain is a student of history, but anytime a leader of a party starts separating us from them, it becomes a Holocaust or obstruction of the nation. We saw it in Germany, we saw it in Africa, we saw it in Rwanda, we saw it everywhere. When you start going us against them, it causes a problem. Now, I don't know if you know the history of totalitarianism and where they separate one party, one people from other people who live in the same land. But every time it happens, I don't know who front of them and who backing them up, but this can be a problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We hope it doesn't get to this point, but it is disturbing. All right. So they put yellow stars on the houses in Nazi Germany. Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yeah, when it comes to the shantytown, right? Like you indicated, you and Palm, everybody is wrong, right? But you don't think the emphasis now should be put on preventing shantytown construction? Because how do a country accept the fact that people could, or undocumented persons could just build, right? And then the town planning, building control, right? They get off scot-free, and they still have their jobs. But I mean, they're not planning. They're not planning no committees. No towns. Towns are being popped up illegally all around the country, and the Bahamian people are being held accountable when we have departments responsible for regulating and monitoring these situations. But the government consecutively continue to get away, and now it's coming the case, unfortunately, God forbid, that Bahamians are reaching that boiling point, because the Bahamian people can no longer be blamed for the lack of government and their department doing their work. We have people being paid daily for these to ensure that if I put up a wall inside in front of my building and a government official pass from those places, they put a stump on my wall and tell me I have to break it down right away, right? So why these those type of policies can't be across the board so that we could prevent these type of issues, and then that causes us to develop a better communities all around the Bahamas, man, because the Haitians, they not at fault, right? They're being allowed to do what they're doing. That's what they're being. They're being allowed to do it, because if they weren't being allowed to do it, there was no way they could do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, let's get through the text messages. We got to, we don't have much time left. I find it rather disturbing how Fred Mitchell continues to downplay this issue. It is politicians like this crew that has this country in its present state. Also, I'd really like to hear from Zammy and the role this blind man played on the farm. Hey, I don't know if it's I get the feeling Zammy's not around anymore from what she was saying, but wouldn't we all love to hear?
See, but they were allowed to do it, Dwight. They were allowed to do it, and now it becomes a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're trying to address it in a way that is not in accordance with the law. But they were allowed to do it.
Yeah. And it's been from I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Mitchell, he told supporters this week, right? He said, be careful who you listen to. Quote, we have to be careful about adopting the rhetoric of the other side because they don't believe it either. All they're trying to do is to get to government, and then when they get to government, there's a different reality that sets in. This is what they do too, I suspect. All right? So
You know what I'm appreciative of? More and more Bahamians are not allowing themselves to be divided by politics.
Are you sure?
I in my circle,
Oh,
more
okay.
and more Bahamians.
In my circle
are
too,
now-
but outside
are
of
now-
that.
Yeah, but you can see, Dwight, that's why they're being moved every 5 years. If we were ingrained in politics, then one party would have continuously be there no matter what they did. But the reason why they're being removed every 5 years is because Bahamians who voted for that party to be there 5 years ago have voted for them to be removed.
Yes, well, that's true.
And I'm glad of that.
This is very interesting. The one final thing from Fred Mitchell. Quote, we are the government, and our job is to maintain peace and good order. And that's what the Progressive Liberal Party is doing under Philip Brave Davis. Okay. But don't mind the people who are talking about dealing with shanty towns. This person says here, text, apparently we have shortages of barbers. Yeah, well, we still haven't received any information about that situation, right? Well, what was that all about?
But see, again, how do we know that?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is for the Department of Labor to put these information out there. And then so now you could have policies encouraging in the schools, having these programs to encourage people that where the shortages are to go and pursue careers in those areas. And then you can have Bahamians gainfully employed. But to say that we have shortages when you have such a high unemployment rate and an even higher rate amongst our youth, I just think it's reckless.
Yeah. All right, we got 2 minutes, less than 2, so let's do this quick.
Intentionally.
I mean, because, that's only going to get me upset, and I got a whole week of shows to do. Can't talk about Minnis and the F&M for too long without having a near stroke. But anyway, before we get to them, so even shorter, the gas stations. So the headline in the Tribune says, enough is enough, say the gas dealers. Vice President of the Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association says to stay tuned as fuel retailers await government addressing a long-awaited margin increase, saying the industry feels enough is enough. Okay, so
nothing is going to happen unless they act. They need to stop talking.
No, but don't say that.
And they need to do.
All
I'm
they
just
can do
saying.
is shut down,
Yeah, but
and that's
then
going
I think saying
to cause chaos.
Well, whatever they decide to do something if they
Yeah.
want
Ooh.
to be heard.
Well, so somebody heard me. This has been the longest tease ever. From 6 up, we've been saying we're going to talk about it, but yet we are only talking about it at almost 10 o'clock. So this person responded, Dwight, it's not mumbling and grumbling by the gas retailers. I am one of them. And what would you do if the government controlled what profit you can make 90% of the products and services that you provide while your expenses are ballooning? We fully understand the desire to keep prices low for the motoring public, but here it is. They are about to increase NIB. They've increased their travel budget by millions. They've increased minimum wage, which had a cascading effect on our business. The list goes on. It's not mumbling and grumbling. I hear you, and I do feel your pain.
Well, then do something.
Are you going to
If
do?
it's
Do
that
you want them to
important-
do the thing they say they're going to do?
I'm just saying, because they're always talking and they're always pleading, and the government has by its actions, not adhered to what they're saying. So then if you feel this is a situation that is dear to you, do something about it.
Wow. Okay. The government is looking for civil war. No. But the domes were knocked down with Bahamians living in them. This nurse did not lease any property to any of these illegal migrants that inhabited her property. Please stop talking foolishness. She went to the court. The names of the illegal migrants were not available. But she did have somebody working for her, and they probably rented it out. That's the challenge there, right? But I hear you. It should never have gotten to this point. It's very sad. Now, Pam, very quickly, the tensions in the F&M leadership blocking Minnis, associations. Why is this even a thing? Why can't this man understand that we don't want to hear from him unless he's talking about a challenge in Killarney?
Yeah, me personally, the people have spoken, and I don't think the Bahamian people in general wants a Dr. Minnis back again. But if the F&M wants to bring him back, and probably sit in the wilderness for years to come, that's their choice.
So you're saying more voice
spoken.
notes from Fred Mitchell every day, giving quasi-government policy if Minnis comes back.
No, I'm not saying that. All I know was he secured under his leadership one of the highest voter count in the history of the Bahamas.
We were all fooled.
And then 4.5 years later,
complete disaster.
Yes, complete disaster. Bahamians have rejected him. And so I think they should move on. I don't think, to me, this is about the man itself.
The people say that the media has caused this because they're not giving him a break because of the pandemic and of Dorian.
I think the media, how the media can cause that. The people went out there and they voted. See, I think governance is supposed to be about the people and advancing the lives of the people. And a lot of times it's about the individual. And maybe they're upset because his supporters, he would only serve one term. But it is what it is, Dwight. That's what the people have done. And I think we should respect the voices of the people via their vote and move on.
Yeah.
Because he has been rejected.
We may talk about this more later in the week if there's nothing else happening. But this we are seeing the signs that somebody's trying to make a comeback, and it will be detrimental. Nothing really personal. We just have seen the nature of the beast, and we see what would come again if we were to go back there. No?
I think the country just has to move on. We have to continue going until we get the people in power that will implement the policies that will better the lives of Bahamians and those who reside in this country.
Bottom line
That's
is
the
that
focal point for me.
we are in a serious problem in this country because on the one side is that and the other side is this.
Yeah.
And we aren't really progressing.